As the United States celebrates its 250th birthday on July 4th, the astrology for the month of July has been extraordinary. So much energy packed into a 30-day window, along with aspect patterns that may not have been experienced during written history. Let's dive in and see exactly what the stars are saying. The outer planets significantly influence the broader world, as their energies stay within a single sign for extended periods. This year, the shifts in planetary signs and their alignments have been remarkable. Neptune entered Aries, a fire sign, on January 26th, followed by Saturn moving into Aries on February 13th. On April 25th, Uranus transitioned into Neptune, an air sign, and finally, Jupiter will move into Leo, another fire sign, on June 30th. Pluto has already completed its move to Aquarius, an air sign, at the end of 2024, where it will remain until 2043. The latter part of 2026 will see so many planetary aspects that I needed to prepare a separate talk. In my May 2025 presentation, I covered the minor grand trine between Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, which is reoccurring again this year. However, during July, these energies will be expanded to include Jupiter, and for a very brief moment, the Moon, acting more as an event trigger than anything else. So let's get started. July 2026 is widely anticipated by astrologers as a historic threshold moment due to an exceptionally rare geometric alignment involving almost all of the outer planets. The month initially features a complex geometric pattern called a minor grand trine, or magic triangle, between Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. These three outer planets align in a series of sextiles and trines, with Uranus at 4 degrees Gemini, Neptune at 4 degrees Aries, and Pluto at 4 degrees Aquarius. Themes that include major advancements in technology, societal changes, and increased spirituality are expected. The sheer number of aspects and complex planetary configurations happening in July is the most I've ever tried to analyze. Before we dive into the aspect patterns and their significance, let's take some time to just review all of the astrological action happening in July 2026. The first half of July 2026 contains 3 U.S. planetary returns, lunar, solar, and Mercury, and 8 major aspects which include outer planets. The ones highlighted in blue will be discussed in more detail. The second half of July 2026 contains 12 major aspects which include outer planets. Again, the ones highlighted in blue will be shown later in more detail. As you can see, July will be a very active, exciting time. In May of 2025, I first presented the minor grand trine formed by Pluto in Aquarius, Neptune in Aries, and Uranus in Gemini. The 3 outermost planets were all in their new signs for about 4 months, from early July until mid-October. During the first half of 2026, the outer planets finished their transition back into their new signs by April 25th. These 3 planets will all be at 4 degrees in mid-July of 2026, acting as a massive structural and spiritual reset for humanity. These configurations will force people to stop merely dreaming of change and start physically implementing it. The magic triangle occurring again in 2026, also called the golden triangle, or more simply, a minor grand trine, is a significant alignment in mundane astrology. When the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, are all involved, things happen. Pluto in Aquarius represents the decentralization of power, advancements in community-oriented systems, and the development of technologies like artificial intelligence. This includes the rise of digital currencies, decentralized energy grids, and a focus on collective survival over individual gain. Neptune in Aries encourages the spiritualized individual, inspires the new idealistic movements, and advances aspects of medicine and health systems. Uranus in Gemini triggers rapid technological changes in communications, education, and innovations in local travel. The energy generated among Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto in July 2026 is distinctly cooperative. Each planet's influence reinforces and motivates the others, creating a synergistic effect. Notably, these planets have transitioned into the masculine signs of Aquarius, Aries, and Gemini, shifting their expression more towards action-oriented and outwardly directed energies. On July 4th, Mars aligns with Uranus in Gemini, making a powerful conjunction. The Mars-Uranus conjunction is considered the strongest aspect in this configuration, priming us for swift and decisive change. Mars energizes Uranus and channels action through sextiles and trines to Neptune and Pluto. The alignment of Mars conjunct Uranus in Gemini on July 4, 2026, also carries a volatile and revolutionary energy. This conjunction may signal a major historical turning point, especially for the United States, acting as a trigger for rapid transformation in communications, technology, and national identity. The first sextile features Neptune in Aries for manifesting dreams, Uranus in Gemini for shifts in knowledge, and Mars in Gemini for faster progress. These influences affect everything from conversations to media consumption. With so much information circulating, misinformation and confusion are possible, although grassroots opportunities remain. The second sextile of Neptune in Aries and Pluto in Aquarius strives to create a society that supports the needs of the individual in the midst of significant technological advancements being adopted by the many. The trine between Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus conjunct Mars in Gemini will create major opportunities for technology, supercomputing, and artificial intelligence. Pluto in Aquarius brings technological advancements to the people. Uranus in Gemini clarifies information sources and knowledge, while the short-lived energies of Mars in Gemini may spur dramatic new announcements in technology-related areas. With all of the elements of the minor grand trine defined, their integration is vital. Trine energies blend easily, especially the intellectual or air elements of Pluto in Aquarius, Uranus in Gemini, and Mars in Gemini. Since Pluto occupies the sign ruled by Uranus, Aquarius's influence on innovative technologies is further emphasized. Neptune serves as the apex or midpoint of this configuration, acting as the focal point for integrating all the energies. Neptune in Aries introduces the elements of spirit and fire, while Mars, as the ruler of Aries, acts as an initiator to the outer planets. Neptune's placement in Aries encourages us to remember that as our tools become more advanced, our spiritual awareness must deepen to match them. This Pluto-Neptune-Uranus aspect, emerging at the dawn of a new generational cycle, positions society to make transformative decisions. Amidst a profound technological revolution, those who understand these astrological dynamics are called to manifest a world that balances spiritual needs with technological advancement, shaping a future for all. During the middle of July, Jupiter will make aspects with Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, adding the fourth planet necessary for establishing a semi-grand sextile, in which the 4 planets are arranged in a half circle. The phenomenon reaches its peak intensity between July 18th and July 22nd, when all 4 planets are at 4 degrees. Jupiter, recognized as the greater benefic, is regarded as the most positive planet within the zodiac, often associated with favorable outcomes. Even traditionally negative aspects tend to be mitigated by Jupiter's presence. Since Jupiter is a new player in this outer planet configuration, one that wasn't active last year, let's take a few moments to discuss Jupiter's role in this configuration a bit more. Jupiter in Leo boosts charismatic leadership, while Uranus in Gemini drives innovation in communications. Their sextile often sparks movements for liberty and equality, helping shape new societal ideals. When in trine with Neptune in Aries, Jupiter can influence and drive progress in fields like spirituality, religion, and social reform through visionary actions. Neptune in Aries has a particular role to play in reining in the technological exuberance of Uranus and Pluto, and asks the question, technically we can do this, but should we? Neptune, influenced by Jupiter, looks to address the legal, moral, ethical, and spiritual issues involved. Jupiter in Leo opposes Pluto in Aquarius, highlighting a need for mass transformation with a focus on justice, equality, and individual human rights. Jupiter's rulership over the judicial and legal system may result in lawsuits that generate spectacular explosions of long-hidden scandals, such as corruption in government, financial, or other institutions that can no longer be ignored. This transit emphasizes tension between individual leaders, Leo, and public calls for change, Aquarius, which may cause conflict. However, oppositions focus on balance. Both Aquarius and Leo are fixed signs with a strong interest in the needs of the individual, offering a foundation for reconciliation. This shared interest presents opportunities to find equilibrium between the different perspectives. To summarize, this semi-grand sextile may be understood as facilitating the synthesis of soul and systems, suggesting the potential for technological advancement inspired by elevated spiritual or humanitarian objectives. By incorporating Jupiter at 4 degrees Leo into the existing Neptune-Pluto-Uranus magic triangle at 4 degrees, this configuration evolves into an intricate 4-planet arrangement. The sextile between Uranus in Gemini and Neptune in Aries, peaking on July 15th at 4:31 p.m., marks a period of potential cultural and technological progress. This sextile facilitates a mental or spiritual shift, with Uranus influencing communication and Neptune fostering innovative vision. The trine between Uranus in Gemini and Pluto in Aquarius reaches its peak energy on July 18th at 12:45 a.m. With both planets in mental air signs, this harmonious alignment between them is associated with the innovation of Uranus and the transformative powers of Pluto, potentially ushering in a period of rapid technological, social, and intellectual evolution. On July 19th, the Moon in Libra will be at 4 degrees, joining 4 outer planets to form a 5-planet configuration that will be active from 8:16 a.m. until 10:06 a.m., about 2 hours. Then the Moon will move on and soon be out of orb. When the moon enters 4 degrees Libra, it completes a 5 out of 6 point grand sextile, also known as the Star of David. Since this pattern includes the 3 outermost planets in the solar system, which have the longest orbits, it creates a pattern which is a web of trines and sextiles that may not have been seen in many thousands of years. Some astrologers believe it signals a potential shift in human consciousness. The grand sextile is only missing a 4 degrees leg in Sagittarius to create the completed configuration. Check your own charts to see if anyone has a planet around 4 degrees Sagittarius. You may personally experience these energies more strongly in your life. On July 19th, at 8:58 a.m., the moon's transit through 4 degrees Libra serves as an energetic trigger, lighting up the 5th point of a rare grand sextile. While the core configuration involves slow-moving outer planets, the moon adds an immediate emotional release to this extremely rare alignment. The transiting moon acts as the timer or activator for these larger planetary cycles. During the 2-hour period that the configuration is stable, it is very near the energetic midpoint, when the moon in Libra will be exactly opposite Neptune in Aries. The moon represents the masses, the general public mood, and collective emotional reactions. When the moon is in Libra, the public focus shifts heavily towards diplomacy, social justice, and the restoration of balance. It will be interesting to observe what happens with lawsuits, international relations, and social issues around that date. This time is likely the strongest energetic point for the entire configuration. It consists of 5 sextiles, a grand trine in air, which consists of 3 trines and 2 oppositions. Buried within the configuration is a mystic rectangle. In a mundane sense, this mystic rectangle points to a period, specifically peaking in July 2026, where major societal shifts can happen with surprising grace rather than explosive chaos. The grand trine in air, peaking around July 18th through 20th, is a rare and highly potent alignment. While the Uranus-Pluto trine provides the long-term structural rewiring of power and technology, the moon in Libra acts as the immediate emotional trigger, bringing these aspect shifts into the public's daily social experience. As the moon moves on and the peak of the energies from July 19th wane, the 4-planet semi-grand sextile remains active. Jupiter heavily influences the semi-grand sextile in 3 out of the 4 next aspects. The trine between Jupiter in Leo and Neptune in Aries will be exact on July 20th at 3:22 a.m. It is interpreted as a visionary and creative portal that harmonizes the bold, active leadership of Leo with the spiritualized action of Neptune. This harmonious trine emerges just hours before the Jupiter-Pluto opposition, acting as a soothing force amid intense energies. It helps soften the edges of power struggles and brings a sense of balance to the otherwise turbulent dynamics of the opposition. The opposition between Jupiter in Leo and Pluto in Aquarius will be exact on July 20th at 10:45 a.m. This opposition highlights a period of intense societal friction where the visionary leadership of Jupiter in Leo needs to be balanced with the pressures of deep structural transformation and the humanitarian interests of Pluto in Aquarius. The sextile between Jupiter in Leo and Uranus in Gemini peaks on July 21st at 7:10 a.m. This sextile positively connects Jupiter's creative power with the unexpected changes brought by Uranus. The sextile between Neptune in Aries and Pluto in Aquarius, the two outermost planets, will be exact on July 25th at 1:48 a.m. and is active from roughly 2025 to 2032. This sextile is interpreted as a harmonious alignment between the vision of Neptune and the transformative power of Pluto. Jupiter leaves the 4th degree on July 22nd at 11:22 p.m. Eastern Time. But since it moves more slowly, it takes longer for the influences of Jupiter to wane, and it remains strongly in effect throughout July, a beautiful configuration due to its rare stabilizing geometry. Let's summarize the three major themes of the astrological aspects occurring during July 2026. Technology theme. Breakthroughs in artificial intelligence, decentralized systems, and real-time information exchange are set to transform society. Advances in AI will drive automation and enhance decision-making, while decentralized technologies like blockchain will provide greater security and user autonomy, supporting trends such as digital currencies and decentralized energy grids. As these technologies advance, notable progress is anticipated in areas such as digital rights and communications, empowering people to express themselves, collaborate, and safeguard their data more effectively than ever before. There is a potential for a shift in how society recognizes and integrates alternative knowledge and intuitive technologies. As the boundaries of what is deemed normal continue to broaden, mainstream acceptance of unconventional ideas becomes increasingly possible. Recent media coverage of deaths and disappearances among scientists working on new energy and anti-gravity technologies has highlighted previously classified areas of knowledge. This may prompt the release of information about alternative energy sources, potentially having global impact. Space exploration and scientific discoveries may also bring major changes. Perhaps disclosure will do more than just dribble out. Declassification of government files on UFOs and alien technology, widely anticipated, may finally occur. That would certainly qualify as a Uranus in Gemini event. And as Uranus rules astrology and also the sign of Aquarius, perhaps broader acceptance of this ancient predictive science may come about. Societal changes theme. Gemini and Aquarius energies shift the focus from the material concerns of earth signs to the conceptual systems of air signs. Pluto in Aquarius transforms dynamics to favor individuals within the system, while Uranus in Gemini encourages innovation. Together, these influences support grassroots efforts for transparency and the structural reform that can empower smaller groups over larger institutions. Spirituality theme. With Neptune in Aries, you may experience a shift in personal purpose, viewing your desires as meaningful and guided by higher forces. This placement inspires philosophical or religious enthusiasm and motivates taking assertive action on collective ideals. Unlike Neptune's usual ambiguity, in the sign of Aries, imagination is harnessed for real-world projects, encouraging society to apply ideals practically. No further outer planet sign changes will occur during the second half of the year. These remaining three outer planet aspects of the year are focused on consolidating the groundbreaking innovations and insights that will emerge during this July alignment. Let's move to July's final major astrological event, the change of the signs for the lunar nodes. The nodes are calculated points which mark where the moon's orbit crosses the ecliptic path of the sun. In transit charts, these nodes have a broader global meaning, showing the planet's direction for the next 18 months, unlike natal charts where they reveal an individual soul's purpose for this lifetime. From July 26, 2026 until March 26, 2028, the North Node will be in the air sign of Aquarius, and the South Node will be in the fire sign of Leo. The transiting North Node in Aquarius and South Node in Leo marks an astrological shift that moves humanity's attention away from personal achievements and ego, Leo, towards community progress and innovation, Aquarius. This 18-month global cycle urges people to let go of the traditional hierarchies associated with the Leo South Node and prudently integrate technological advances. The Aquarius North Node encourages freedom of expression for the individual within the community. Overall, this astrological shift encourages society to move from established power dynamics to a mindset where creative freedom, free will, and collaboration drive growth and transformation. In closing, July 2026 appears to mark a rare and meaningful turning point, one in which technology, collective change, and spiritual purpose converge with unusual force. Whether these patterns unfold through innovation, social transformation, or a deeper awakening of human consciousness, this month invites us to pay close attention to the choices we make and the values we carry forth. If these extraordinary alignments reveal anything, it is that periods of profound change also hold the greatest potential for growth, wisdom, and the creation of a more conscious future. Thank you for watching. If you would like to be notified of future videos, please subscribe and click the notify bell icon so you'll know when new videos come out. If you enjoyed the video, please click on the thumbs up icon.